Welcome back to Newsmax Prime. You could say there's a fight of biblical proportions going on in Oklahoma. That's because the dispute concerns the Ten Commandments. The state Supreme Court there recently ordered the removal of a Ten Commandments monument from the state capitol grounds. But Oklahoma's Attorney General says the display should stay, and he's not giving up without a fight. For more, let's welcome in the aforementioned Attorney General for the state of Oklahoma, Scott Pruitt. General, it's so good you could spend some time with us here on Newsmax Prime.
Congressman, great to be with you.
Scott, you filed a brief in this case saying Oklahoma's Supreme Court got this wrong. So from your vantage point, why should the monument stay?
Well, our Supreme Court got it wrong because by their decision, they've created a hostility toward religion. I mean, the U.S. Supreme Court has said routinely that our religion clauses in the First Amendment is that they're intended to prevent the preference of religion or they have to take a neutral stance with respect to religion in the marketplace. And because our Oklahoma Supreme Court has taken the Ten Commandments and said, because they have a religious nature, that they have to be completely removed from capitol grounds, that is an hostility toward religion that the First Amendment actually seeks to prevent. And so what we're asking the court to do now, Congressman, is to come in and say, based upon the recent interpretation by our own Supreme Court, it now invokes or brings into play the First Amendment, and we're seeking to ask the court to take the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and apply it to the situation to prevent the removal of the Ten Commandments.
General, when you look back at the case, obviously the state Supreme Court predicated this on some language. I'm not sure if it's your state constitution or a subsequent state statute, but what was their legal reasoning?
It is actually a constitutional provision, Congressman, Article 2, Section 5 of our state constitution. And before this case, our Supreme Court had always applied that to basically say if there's some measure of public value that can be achieved through a symbol. You know, we had a cross that was erected on I-40 just south of Oklahoma City many, many years ago. The Oklahoma Supreme Court took this same provision of the Constitution and said that was actually constitutional. We had a chapel that was built at a children's home in Pryor, Oklahoma. And the Supreme Court then, Oklahoma Supreme Court, said that that chapel also was constitutional under this provision. So when you look at the history of the decisions by our own Supreme Court up until this situation, the real focus was on whether there was any kind of public value that could be achieved, irrespective of whether the symbol or the chapel had some sort of religious connotation or religious nature. So long as it served some public benefit, it was allowed. They changed that approach entirely with their recent decision, which is why it invokes now the First Amendment.
Oklahoma AG Scott Pruitt, we thank you for your time. Hey, here's how you're going to want to spend your time Wednesday night following the CNN debate. Newsmax TV will host a post-debate special featuring Ed Berliner, Steve Malzberg, and yours truly. We'll bring you all the highlights from the debate with full analysis from our expert panel, including Dick Morris and John Zogby. We'll also be joined by special guests Dr. Ben Carson and Michael Reagan, live from the Reagan Library after that debate. So make sure you tune in Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Newsmax TV. We want you as Newsmax viewers to weigh in, and immediately following the debate, Newsmax will be conducting an instant poll to determine the winner, and you could become a debate judge. All you need to do is sign up right now at newsmax.com/judge. This will enter you as a debate judge, and results will be shared live on our broadcast. Again, sign up right now at newsmax.com/judge. Now, a couple of comments from you via social media. The first coming from Michael. He writes in about Obama's endorsement. JD, I'll bet that Obama's waiting on Biden's decision. If Joe Biden runs, the Justice Department will indict Hillary Clinton to get her out of the race. If he decides not to run, Hillary will get off scot-free. But then Charles has this point of view. He writes in, JD, Hillary is the new Teflon woman. Nothing sticks. President Reagan could not compare. Thanks for those comments. We'll have more tomorrow night. For tonight, J.D. Hayworth saying, stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.